I got to send it.
You look like you got your ears lowered a little bit. Okay.
It's not working on either end. Try. Good chat.
That's.
What?
I know. Yeah, I guess. That's for Harris.
Okay, it's October 2nd, 5:45 PM. We're going to call this Finance Committee meeting to order. Present are council members Shute, Barker, Hauser, Marmy, and Blind in for Lang. First item, the unappropriated balance of the general fund is at $416,089. The cash balance of the budget stabilization fund is at $1,624,530. First item on the agenda is a request for appropriation amount of $15,187,000.
Good evening. So these funds are for the South Second Street project. It's going to occur from the railroad crossing down to the bridge at High Street. So 14 million is for the construction side of that. So that's just a memo expense. The 1.187 million is for the construction management services. That project will start in January.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Blind. Questions and or comments?
Can you remind me of the timeline on that one?
That's about a 2-year project that it's going to be completed by June of 2026.
Mr. Barker?
That was the same question.
Okay, very good. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is request for appropriation in the amount of $15,000.
So this is for the Raccoon Creek stream bank project that's going on out by Church Street right now. There was a note that was established in 2022 for that, and this was some excess fees or some extra fees for renewal of that note to allow that project to get through completion. Hopefully late this year, early next year.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation, in the amount of $45,000.
This is from unappropriated balance of the water fund. We have credit card and debit card processing fees for folks that use those processes online to pay their water bills. And that has continued to increase due to credit card fees, as well as just more and more people paying online. So this will get us through the end of the year. And then also there's about $12,000 in that is for a 2022 note renewal for the East Side transmission line and the Thornwood Fay Drive booster station projects.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments?
Thanks, Chair. Brand, on the credit card processing fees, we say they're getting larger. Are we looking at putting out the bid for a new credit card processor to maybe get lower fees in the future? What's the status?
Good question. We've done both. Actually, in July, we went back to our current fee, our company and talked to them and they gave us a different rate. So we are saving about $5,000 to $6,000 a month currently. And we're considering how to best do that, or how to best process those fees. That was talking with some of the office staff and then Roger back in the day, Roger Loomis, that was, we wanted people to pay online and pay with credit cards. And so the water utility absorbed those fees initially. And so that was a good problem. We got people using that process now, but now those fees are excessive. We've gone in the last 4 years from about $75,000 a year to $200,000 a year. So yeah, we need to continue to consider how we absorb those fees.
As a follow-up to that, is there any consideration for passing this on to the people paying the bills in any fashion potentially?
That has been a consideration, yeah.
Just recommendation. If you do that, set your fee automatic and give a discount for those that don't pay with credit card. The manner in which you present it is definitely, you'll get less of complaints and headaches and things like that.
Right, another good point, another comment on that, we've had anything up to $5,000, there's a fee, and so you cannot process over $5,000 maximum amount to help us with those fees. So now we have some of our local customers that will pay multiple $5,000 increments.
Yeah,
Because they get they get the credit from that on their end of it.
sure.
So it's a good problem, but.
Yeah, very good.
Thank
All
you.
right, any further questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
And just, I pay with credit card, so I've been paying that. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation amount of $63,756.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. The following 7 requests are to properly fund salary benefit accounts for the ASME contract that was passed recently there by this body of council. So ask for your support. So buddy's properly paid.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Blind. Questions and or comments? Yes, sir.
I noticed on the financial request form, it's marked expedite, but there's no reason marked for that. I noticed that there were a few items in the packet that are like that. I was just wondering what the reason is for this being expedited.
The reason is because we actually passed the legislation and we need to get these folks paid, and this is part of the payroll that we voted on previously, so it has to be expedited.
I appreciate that. It's,
Certainly.
it would have been helpful if it's on the form.
Sure. Any further questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. The next item is the request for $3,545. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Who said that? Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item is a request for appropriation amount of $96,343. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item is appropriation, the amount of $53,366. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on a full council signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Next item is a request for appropriation amount of $26,120. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on the full council signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is request for appropriation amount $31,957. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda, request appropriation amount $79,818. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send us on full council signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I may, I just want to properly update you, assuming you're going to pass this, this will take your unappropriated balance down to about $279,000.
Okay,
Assuming these are.
very good. Thank you. With that, this finance committee meeting stands adjourned. Next up is service. Sure.
Expect you to read that, Scott.
Well, I was noticing the turnbuckles then. A lot of other things up there. Yeah. Right, it's like, yeah, it's going to come over here.
Oh.
All right, we'll call the service committee meeting to order. Those present, myself, Brad, Barker, Line, Shoot, and Mr. Marmy sitting in for Mr. Mealy. Up first, to consider resolution 23-88. A resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Service to participate with a developer in the cost for construction of off-site drainage improvements, which will provide benefit to areas beyond developers' needs. Mr. Moore.
I'll speak on that one.
I'm sorry, dude.
Okay. There's a development at the end of Laverne Road, which is known as Laverne Apartments, that the area previously had several drainage issues and that are long-standing drainage issues. I mean, it's been going on for 30 years. I can remember going out there about 30 years ago and looking for a solution. So the proposed development would be able to would help solve some of those issues, but we also need we would like to participate with some offsite repairs as well, which would be some drainage ditch and storm sewer work. And we think we can help the adjacent neighbors that are off-site of the development in that regard. So we've met with them. They're open to an easement for these improvements. And we would use our stormwater funds to help solve this problem down there. So would ask for your support in passing this on to council.
Any questions from committee members?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Barker, seconded by Klein. Question by Mr. Marmy.
Thank you. So the developer's gonna contribute to this also, or just their portion, or what?
Yeah, exactly. So the contractor that's doing the development work would do the actual work for us. We would pay our share to the developer. The easements will be in the name of the city. So that we can go maintain the portion that we're paying for on the private developer, or on the adjacent property owners, property. A bunch of the development down there that exists before this new project does not have easements on it. Basically, the water is running down Laverne Road, and then there's two other apartment complexes there that dump onto a private property owner's property. And it has been a long-standing problem. The pipe is basically aimed at the back of their house. And back in the day, city didn't require easements and didn't look at the effects that some of the development would have. So we're left to try to fix those, and the fact that Stoneworks is developing these apartments gives us the opportunity to do that.
So does that exempt us from competitive bidding because they're doing the work and they're doing the development, or?
I guess it would. I mean, they are doing the work. We're gonna pay for our portion of the work, which would be, we estimate it somewhere under $50,000. And so yeah, we would not be bidding that part of the work out.
If you were to get that out, where do you think that would come in?
I mean, we looked at the estimates to make sure they were reasonable, and we think they're reasonable. So we think it would come in probably at that, or probably a bit higher, because prevailing wage would be involved. But probably close to that amount.
Yeah. Another question, Parker?
Thank you. So just to confirm, Brian, our share is around $50,000.
That's what we think at this point. Yeah. Yeah.
Questions from the audience? Seeing no further questions, all in favor of passing this on to council, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion will carry with a vote of 5-0. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Actually, up next, we're gonna have Mr. Rhodes, and I apologize. I said I was gonna let you go first, but I thought you had the first piece of legislation.
It's all good.
So, Mr. Rhodes, we talked to us about a communication tower.
Yes, up on Horns Hill, somewhere around 1960s. I've been told this tower was built. Somewhere in the early 2000s, I've been told that the city took ownership of this tower. It's an older tower. It's held up by guide wires. And earlier this year, we had a tree fall on one of the guide wires. It could have taken the tower down. It didn't. Worked with the tree company. We got the guide wire released. As we moved forward to enter into a lease agreement with the Christian Media Group, one of the things I negotiated was a full scope review of the tower. This is what you have in front of you, is the report that they gave to me. Since the reports come in, we've set up a group that are beginning conversations on the tower. The group would include the school systems. The groups would include Sean Grady. The group includes the sheriff's department, people that are using the tower. And we want to kind of analyze and take a look at what the future of this particular tower is, whether repairs are made or whether the tower is brought down and we have some type of another tower put up. We're also including the Marks radio people, because a lot of people are moving to Marks, but we do have ham operators that like the tower for backup communications. So they're included in the discussion, as well as the city does use part. Why I wanted to bring this to you tonight, it's a good report. When you're bored at night, having problems going to sleep, read it. There won't be a test on it, but I imagine in about 6 months or so, I'll be back in front of you. Saying what the results are of our meetings and what direction we would like to move forward.
I love it. There's lots of pictures.
There is lots of pictures. So we'll give you each and every one of you your own copy.
And who contracted the report? We did or the folks from Zinga?
The Christian Media Group contracted and paid for the report.
Okay.
So the only portion that I paid for, someone have extra copies printed out for you guys and other members of administration and the mayor.
Okay. Any questions from the committee? Questions from the audience? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your material. Okay, up next, we have resolution number 23-89. Resurfacing with related work along State Route 13 in Lincoln County. Scope of the work to include preventative maintenance work on bridges within the resurfacing project limits. Scope of work within city will include resurfacing and replacement of curb ramps as needed. There's more.
Yes, sir. So this is one of the standard pieces of legislation that comes to us from ODOT. They're in the beginning phases of developing this project. Basically, it's a resurfacing project on State Route 13 from just about Riverview Drive north to the Knox County work line. So the southern portion is within the city of Newark, and they are asking for our cooperation to move forward with the project. We'll have a share of 20% share of the resurfacing costs and any other items that we ask for that are outside of the normal scope of the project will be at our 100% cost, but I don't anticipate very many items like that. It's basically just a resurfacing project.
So this is going to include portions going through the city limits?
Yes, like I said, from Riverside Drive, which is about where the driveway is at Coles off of Mount Vernon Road, north all the way up to the corporate limit, to the Knox County corp line. So Newark corp limits up near Dry Creek Road.
I can't recall off the top of my head, going from Coles north, are there sidewalks in that area?
There are no sidewalks in any of that area.
Any questions? Committees?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Parker. Seconded by Line. Questions from the audience? Questions from the committee? Go ahead.
Brian, it's got the emergency clause on it, but I know ODOT is requiring that on this, but is there a timeline associated with this project that you're aware of?
The timeline, there is no need for the emergency clause to be voted on this.
I was gonna ask, is it in the body because
It's in the body in section 7, and it says if required, it is not required for this project.
Okay.
but since we're not replacing it, what we amend, right? Any other questions? Pretty thorough. Seeing none, all those in favor of passing this on council, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion will pass with a vote of 5-0. That concludes the service committee meeting for this evening. Up next will be your photo opportunities, all by council, etc.